Hi guys, my name is Taylor Schlenner and I'm here with my friend Tony. I'm going to interview him and ask him a couple of questions relating to Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. He actually has a cousin who's affected, so I'm curious to see how knowing someone in your family that's affected with Duchenne's has an impact on your life or your family's life. So I guess the first question is, Tony, for those of us who don't know, can you briefly explain what Duchenne's is?
So, Duchenne muscular dystrophy is obviously a form of muscular dystrophy. It affects boys. Traditionally, it was once thought to only affect boys, but there have been a few cases where they found females to have it. And it's usually diagnosed fairly early in people's lives, and up until recently, it was usually death sentence, early 20s, but with recent breakthroughs in medicine and whatnot, they've been able to prolong life to early 30s even, so
yeah,
that's great. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know approximately how many boys are affected per year, just on average, with Duchenne's?
Don't know how many are affected on average per year, but we can figure that out at some point.
Yeah, well, I actually happen to know the statistic. It's typically on average 1 out of every 3,500 boys per year, so that's sort of high odds, but it's not super common.
Right.
And so you said your cousin Dylan has DMD. Do you remember when your family discovered that he had this disease or any of that?
Yeah, so I think he was diagnosed about 10 years ago. He is, I believe, 15 or 16 now. And yeah, it was about 10 years ago that he was diagnosed. My mom was the one who told me about it. We were supposed to keep it kind of on the lowdown for quite some time. It was actually probably 4 or 5 years after I was originally told that he had the disease that, as a family, we were even comfortable talking about it. The whole goal was to kind of keep it under the wraps for as long as possible, to try to keep life more normalized, or as normalized as possible.
Yeah, because that could definitely have a huge impact on us and being related to.
Yeah.
So do you know, initially, if you or anyone noted, what was the initial signs that okay, there might be something going on?
Yeah.
Genetically.
We come from a fairly athletic family, the entire extended family as well, and his mother, who her name is Carrie Michelli, and she, her sister, who's my other aunt, they actually had children at the exact same time. So Dylan and my other cousin were born about a month and a half away from each other.
Okay.
So as they were growing up, we all live relatively close, lots of family gatherings, and so it was kind of okay, same, and then it was oh, this is weird, okay, Mason's doing all of these things, and Dylan isn't able to do any of those things,
right,
or is much slower in a lot of those things. And so they started noticing, obviously not just with Mason, but with other people as well.
Okay.
Other children that were that age,
yeah,
and he just wasn't quite doing things quite as well, and so they decided to get him. I don't know this exactly, but I'm assuming that they decided to get him tested for something. I've never asked them about how that exact process went, but I know that they were kind of comparing them to other
there's a couple tests that they can do, creatine kinase test, and just see the levels there. So then obviously that's something that he realized. How did that have an impact on him, as far as understanding that he wasn't able to do the same thing the boys his age were able to do?
Yeah, there were definitely parts in his childhood where I remember him saying things like, my muscles hurt, why can he do things that I can't do, and so on and so forth. And I know that Stan and Carrie were taking him to do more tests, and I think that probably aided in him eventually figuring that out.
Right. So obviously you talk about multiple doctor's visits and testings and stuff, so how did this process or this even diagnosis like financially affect like either your family, his family, extended family, just the whole dynamic?
I mean, financially affecting in terms of like my direct family, his extended family. The only thing really was we donate a lot to DMD. We go to the Cure Duchenne's event every year that they have. As far as his family, you know, he's a very interesting case because he was fortunate enough that both of his parents were scientists here at UCLA. And when that all happened, his parents are Carrie Michelli and Stanley Nelson.
Who I could unfortunately not interview.
Fortunately enough for Dylan and really the entire Duchenne's community, his parents are very highly touted scientists, and they were able to start the UCLA Duchenne Foundation here, or not foundation, but the center on campus.
Right.
And now they both do a ton of research within that. So, you know, from a financial standpoint, obviously it's affected them. They've had to rework their entire house. It's beautiful and gorgeous, but, you know, they've had to make it handicap accessible.
Right. Because he's now in a wheelchair.
Because he's now in a wheelchair, right. Yes. That happened about, I think, a year ago. Where he was permanently in a wheelchair.
So that's probably pretty tough for him.
Yeah, you know, and it was a slow progression, obviously, as that happens. Right. And, you know, he was doing some things in a wheelchair. And fortunately for him, and unfortunate for a lot of other families, is, you know, his parents are in a financial position to be able to easily redo the house and get these things, but there are tons of families out there.
Yeah, kind of an uncommon case,
yes,
sort of, to speak.
There are tons of families out there that can't afford the wheelchairs, or, you know, one of the biggest downfalls before they started the center here at UCLA was that anybody in Duchenne's had to go to the East Coast because that was the only center they had for treating Duchenne. And with them bringing it out here, now at least there's a couple of places where people can get treatment and studies and so on and so forth.
So I guess almost in a sense, like, Dylan being diagnosed and having your aunt and uncle become so, like, integrated in it has been pretty crucial for helping several other boys in cases.
Yeah, I would say yes. It's, you know, it's an unfortunate positive for the Duchenne community.
On some sort of a level, or maybe not, but do you and, like, your family, do you guys feel, like, obligated to, like, actively participate in these events and fundraise, and, like, have you done anything, like, personally to fundraise for the foundation?
My grandma, or Nana, every year does some event where they do some fundraising for it. Then we obviously go to the Duchenne's event at the end of, I guess it's like June, May, somewhere around there. Every year, and, you know, outside of that, we did the one thing here actually with the volleyball team that one time, so that was nice. I'd like to continue doing that at some point in the future.
For those of you guys that don't know, we so Duchenne's muscular dystrophy patches on the jerseys just to help fundraise and promote awareness as to, like, what the disease was and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
You know, outside of that, Dylan's actually done a couple of really cool things. He did a video with Smosh. It's like a pranking video, and then he also did a video with Dude Perfect that were both, like, kind of promoting or, like, making
spreading awareness. Yeah, because that's one thing. It's, like, very underrepresented because it's not it's not a cancer or something that's, like, common.
Right.
What are some of the positives that either, like, you have taken away from the situation, or, like, obviously, like, Dylan's family, like, because it is a terrible disease, but I mean, it sounds like there's some good coming out of this situation.
Yeah, as far as myself, you know, everyone in our family is much more appreciative of, again, coming from an athletic family, you just kind of take a lot of that stuff for granted, and now it definitely is a constant reminder of, like, dude, like, how lucky I am to be able to play any sort of athletic sport.
It's eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, to think, and it's extremely sad, I think about it all the time, but, like, to think that, like, at one time, like, he sat down and, like, is never actually going to be able to sit up or never stand up again. Like, it's really heavy. And it makes you appreciate all the things in life that you take for granted. The fact that we can stand up and walk across the street, or walk to get a drink of water, or any of those things. You know, stairs in general. Like, they went on a vacation, you know, they came back, and it was like, it was a great trip, but there's a lot of stuff out there that's not handicap accessible. And it makes you so much more aware of, we need to do a better job as a society of making all of those things more accessible to people in wheelchairs, and among a million other things. But it definitely brings light to that sort of stuff.
Wow, interesting. Well, I think that is all I have for you. I just want to say thank you. Really appreciate it. It's just interesting to get the perspective of someone who's directly affected. Like, we're learning about this, but to get someone's like more personal experiences, it's eye-opening for me. So thank you. Appreciate that. And I want